All right, so for today's Hot 3, kid shows.
Kid shows.
Kid shows.
We all got kids.
Yeah, we all got kids.
We all were kids.
But this isn't kid shows like now.
Oh, no. Like, I don't even know what a Coco Melon is.
Yeah, no.
That's not. Back like in the golden age.
Yeah, this is like, what are your top 3 kid shows when you were growing up?
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
And so today I'm going to start with Kenny.
Ooh.
What do you got?
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my hot 3, my number 3 show, Rugrats.
Nice. Good choice.
Just a great Nickelodeon creation. You get the babies running around talking to each other.
Is Nickelodeon even a thing anymore?
It is, but most of their cable programming is like Zoe 101.
Have you seen how depressing their studios are? I do know like the studios went from like the cool shit that we grew up with, where like they slimed everybody. It's now it's like the standard
corporate,
like how all of the fast food restaurants went. Like it's like gray and like white.
Yeah,
cool.
And to be fair, like Nickelodeon has basically been surviving a firestorm of late with a lot of allegations of inappropriate behavior with children from directors and things on set. But the good news is we're not here to talk about that.
No.
We're here to talk about
Hot 3, so number 3.
Instances where hopefully there
Rugrats.
weren't any inappropriate relationships because these were cartoons that probably had adult voice actors. So, Rugrats, Tommy Pickles and the gang, just taking on different adventures. Look, I know like
we just talked about the watermelon in the belly.
Yes, true. Like I thought to this day a watermelon would grow in your belly. How could it not? Like I saw that episode of Rugrats.
It doesn't. It's a myth.
Look, a lot of people. Like, there's there are all kinds of thousands of parenting techniques out there. People that are like zero screen time. And this look like I'll say my screen time. Not that like I had absent parents or anything, but like they let me watch TV when I wanted to watch TV after school or whatnot. Things like when there was nothing going on, and like the first things that like I learned to read were on the TV.
Yeah,
like I'm a very pro advocate of like. Some screen time is important for the development of your child because A, we live in a digital world. Everything that we do is on computer screens and TV screens all day long. So they have to learn to navigate that world. And B, like I learned lessons about life and society and even folklore. I mean, Rugrats had an episode about the Sam Squatch, It's like I didn't know what a Sasquatch was when I was like 4 or 5 years old, but like I saw
when you got older, you're like, I heard this story.
And then what they call it, Satchmo, I think was the Sasquatch in Rugrats. So it's like I learned very important life lessons and like social
Reptar is Godzilla.
Like interaction, like mimicking social interaction through watching these shows. So I do think that this stuff is important. But anyways, Rugrats was
you're getting off on a tangent, man. I don't sure.
Well, I'm just saying
I accept.
I think screen time is I think parents overdo it with the we can't have any screen time. It's just my perspective because I learned to read and I learned to mimic like acceptable social behaviors from watching some of these shows that when you go back and watch them,
this explains a lot. You learned all your socially acceptable behaviors from Rugrats.
Yeah, as a child. And like if you go back and watch these now, like a lot of these episodes had some kind of like life lesson in them.
My favorite part about specifically Rugrats and a lot of these other ones that were geared towards like younger kids is the adult humor that you get now that you didn't get back then.
Yeah, and Rugrats was subtle with a lot of theirs.
Well, a little bit, but the one family was like swingers, and they would make jokes about it, and you didn't know what they were talking about.
But the thing about Rugrats too is like Rugrats stands the test of time. Like I watched Rugrats probably from the time I was 5 until the time I was like 12, probably like getting off the bus from school. Mm-hmm. Like I still would like watch it and enjoy the episodes, even though I was much older than their targeted audience. So, anyways, number 3 for me is Rugrats. Number 2, Doug.
I forgot about Doug.
Greatest theme song of all cartoons.
Nice.
Yeah, great theme song.
Killer tofu.
All the things that I said about Rugrats and like children's TV, like Doug was almost like the growing up version of this, right?
Yeah.
Like you learned what to expect in high school. You learned about bullies. You learned about feeling insecure about your body and your first crush and like all these things. Like these were lessons inside of a TV show made for kids that like if I again had zero screen time, I would have walked into middle school and high school and been like, this is all brand new, and I would have been an idiot.
Wow. Didn't stop that part of it, but
Patty Mayonnaise was a smoke show.
yeah. That Patty Mayonnaise.
That's right, Patty Mayonnaise and Will Levis. Match made in heaven. So Doug, number 2, yeah, Doug. Plus all just the superheroes that Doug played, like so much fun. Quail Man,
Jack Bandit,
Durango,
Jack Bandit,
just rife with just like fun things.
Love it.
That stay in my mind forever.
Love it.
And then number 1, I'll go. And this is the one that for me pushed the line of like a suitable humor for both kids and adults. And like the older I got, the more I appreciated like, oh, that's kind of edgy. Is Rocko's Modern Life?
Oh yeah, another one I forgot about. Man,
just like it was funny as a kid because it was a stupid wallaby and a stupid turtle and a stupid cow. But like as you get older and you realize like some of the names of people and like what they actually mean, and just so many classic episodes of Rocko's Modern
another
Life.
show that featured swingers.
Yeah, I mean there was a whole lot of weird shit that went on in that show. Like when you watch it as an adult, but you also felt like it was suitable for kids. And I just feel like they feel like the general theme of these TV shows is just absolutely missing from today's culture.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna have to show my son reruns of these shows, which thankfully I can stream them now.
Yeah,
but like. I just feel like there's nothing like that today because everything is so commercialized and PC and woke and Zoe 101 like live action stuff, and there's a time and a place for that sort of thing. But like I'm telling you, like these helped shape like my mindset and like help mature my mind as a young child to read and interact with others. And I think there was lessons in all 3 of those from as you get older and then start to again appreciate some of like the subtle like adult jabs that are in some of the like Rocko's Modern Life episodes. So those are my top 3 hot 3.
All right, Bone, what do you got for your hot 3?
All right, so I have like 6 shows written down right here, so I'm gonna throw them out there. Well, not all 6, but
yeah, you only get 3.
I only got 3, so I'm going to leave out Rugrats. That was one of my favorite shows growing up. I used to watch with Mr. Kenny Thunder all the time.
Anything that doesn't make it, remember, after we're done, we could do some honorable mentions.
I just have to give it an honorable mention because it was such a great show. Yeah. But I'm gonna put Hey Arnold at my number 3.
Hell yes.
Because Football Head was a great show. So many cool monikers and just Stoop Kid and all the characters. You have to, I had to say Stoop Kid. That was a must. So Hey Arnold was just a fantastic show.
Another interesting, about Hey Arnold was one of the few cartoons at the time that like had Gerald. Like had a racial, like a interracial, like friends. There was a lot of
Gerald's girlfriend.
Yeah, there was a lot of very white cartoons at the time.
Yeah,
you know what I learned from Gerald and Hey Arnold was how to wrap a sleeping bag like super tight. That was like a whole episode of him.
You learn things
like rolling up a sleeping bag, and I like made it my mission to be able to.
Kenny was just talking about this. You learn things
watching that show.
That's right.
Yeah, but okay. So number 2, I'm going to go with Doug as well. I had to have it in my list. It used to be a ringtone for about 4 or 5 years. I had the Doug Funny, opening as my ringtone.
I can see that.
I just love Doug.
I just go back and watch those today. They're still good.
Just fantastic. But I'm going to go live action for my number 1 because I've always been a very big Shia LaBeouf fan. So I'm going Even Stevens.
Ooh, classic.
Fantastic show. Just hilarious. I think I would still laugh at it. I haven't watched in a long time, but like his neighbor Beans and just his interaction with Beans and just his sister. And she was pretty good looking when I was a young lad.
She grew up to be very good looking.
And the show was just hilarious for a Disney Channel show.
Yeah, launched the career.
And I'm still a big fan.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, huge fan of Shia LaBeouf. Just his whole life story is fascinating, and then just his kind of fall from grace and him coming back.
You watch a lot of his stuff now?
Yeah.
He's very humbled by everything that happened. It's incredible to listen to.
You listen to his stuff on podcast shows and stuff and just talking about.
He's really well spoken and understands like just the mistakes he's made and kind of, to your point, the fall from grace and the redemption that comes along with it.
His story is fascinating, and he was in some great content back in the day. So
I even love like his versions of the Transformers. Like they were great. They were well done. I mean, they're Bay movies, so there's lots of explosions and shit.
Boom!
But I thought Shia held up in those.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, so those are 2 good lists. I'm gonna start mine off here. My number 3. Rocket Power.
Oh yeah.
I remember this wasn't like around the whole time we were kids. It came around kind of a little bit later.
Yeah.
But I just remember when it came out, like it was an instant hit. Everybody watched Rocket Power. Just watching that whole group interact, and you think back to your group of friends, and everybody's friend group had a squid. Like, so
we definitely had a squid.
Yeah, we had a squid. Yeah, wiggity. So I mean, that was just awesome, and it was like the life I wanted to live as a kid. Like I want to just be out there on the beach, just extreme sports, doing whatever the hell I wanted all the time.
Just bashing shoobies.
Yeah. Exactly. And now I go to the beach and I am a shoebie.
Yeah, we are shoobies.
Yeah. I mean, it really came about too, like when like the X Games and stuff started. Like
we're real big,
really mainstream. So
Shaun White.
Like as a kid, you were like you wanted to go like extreme mountain biking and skateboarding and luging and like all the crazy stuff.
Spoiler alert: I never got involved in any of those.
No, but in your mind, you were like, wouldn't that be so cool? Like, I wish I had a half pipe in the backyard.
Yeah, I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't. I'd have a lot more broken bones. And then number 2 for me was Rugrats. Just a fantastic show for all the reasons that you said, Kenny. There's just so many moments that I remember from that show. I got diaper rash up to my knees. So like, just so many different things. I can't think of a single like bad memory from like where I'm like, that episode was terrible. Like it just every time I turn on Rugrats, I was glued to the TV.
Also had an underrated theme song. It almost sounded like Doug, but
wait, I think we did just sing Doug. I think we just sang Doug.
Morphing into Doug.
Yeah,
but it's just
maybe we don't know it.
I don't think we know it. I think that was Doug, guys.
We just started going into Doug.
They were similar though. Now that you mention it,
yeah.
But yeah. So and then my number 1, it actually is more so because of school than anything else, is Magic School Bus.
Great show.
And the reason why it's my number 1, we actually didn't watch it that much at the house, but anytime the cart rolled out at school with the big TV, you're like, hell yes, we get a free day in this class today. We're watching Magic School Bus. And so it just... the joy that comes with thinking about Magic School Bus in general.
Just brings you back to a good place.
Yeah, like you had no worries. Like you were in school, you were just... frustrated because the day dragged on.
Next half hour, I got nothing to do.
Whatever it was, 6 hours of school felt like an eternity. 6 hours now feels like it's nothing. And so to break that day up with Magic School Bus was always a treat. So
there were some pretty crazy adventures.
The crazy thing about Magic School Bus too was that lasted through like high school. Like they would roll it out and put on Magic School Bus in high school, and you're like, yeah, this is a good day.
It's funny because like so much of the world has changed so drastically, and we haven't been out of school that long. No. I mean, I guess it's been longer now than I even think, but
we're getting old.
It's like
we're coming up on 20 years. You know that, right?
Yeah, that's true. So I guess we have been out of school a while, but
we're like right at that cusp where like it's about to turn over, and we've been out of high school longer than we were in school.
It's just amazing that like we were like turning into like 18-year-old kids, and they were like, "Here's Magic School Bus." Like, here's Bill Nye the Science. That we were like, "Yeah,
Bill Nye's another one." But yeah, so Magic School Bus is number 1 for me. I'm embarrassed to say that I completely forgot about Doug. My honorable mention would have been Hey Arnold was right behind on there, and you mentioned Rocko's Modern Life was another one that was way up there for me. So, Bone, what are your honorable mentions?
One that we haven't said was Recess.
Yes,
Big fan of Recess
was a good one.
Yeah. Mikey and I can't remember. Gretchen.
Who else was there? I don't even know. That was a great show, though.
Yeah. To me, Recess was like a Harold knockoff.
Sure.
Yeah, fair.
I always felt like it was the generic version of Hey Arnold. I don't need that crap in my life.
They weren't in the streets.
I know how you feel about generic foods, so I can only imagine how you feel about generic Hey Arnold.
I only want the
brand name.
Premium label brand name.
Yeah.
My other honorable mentions were already mentioned by you fine folks.
My final honorable mention would have been Ren and Stimpy, and that was another one that pushed the envelope.
That did more than push the envelope. Ren and Stimpy was an adult cartoon that paraded around as a kid show.
Yeah. And I'll throw one more on mention, and this was probably more a little bit like as you get older as a child, but Boy Meets World.
Oh yeah,
was one of the we looked forward to the episode.
We just rewatched that like a year ago, like in its entirety, and it's still it holds up. I mean, it is odd though when you go back and watch these things how short an episode is.
Yeah,
like when you're young and you're watching that, and it's just the concept of time in general, which we get in a whole thing. I'm not going to get too far into it, but how short. Or how long those episodes felt when you were young and how short they feel now is just incredible to like even think about.
Well, yeah, like the whole runtime, like without commercials, is like sometimes 19 minutes.
Yeah,
and you're like, wow, I watched a lot of commercials as a kid.
Yeah, and even if you watch it on like a Hulu or something like that with ads, and you're like, That's it. That was it. There wasn't a lot of substance there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, just crazy. But that'll do it for the Hot 3.